Hello and welcome to Highly Informed. I'm your host, Shaun Salvaje. Highly Informed is all about entheogenic education and news you can use when it comes to the world of cannabis and psychedelics. I am here. We're kicking it off. It's been a wonderful start to Texas Cannabis Week, and I'm here with Liz Grow.
Yes.
The brains and the beauty behind the Texas Outlaw Party, which is where we're headed next after we close these cozy conversations. Liz, it's been a couple of years. Thank you so much for joining me here. It's kind of a beautiful manifestation. What a circular moment.
It really is. It feels really good.
And we have, what is this?
This is what we've got, some Agarita Berry Tejas Tonic to celebrate the occasion. Mother's Day's coming up, so stock up.
I gotta say, I've been...
But no, yeah, this is a... really, all jokes aside, Tejas Tonic is an amazing local hemp company, a local hemp drink.
To Texas.
Right? To make it super simple, let's go. It's delicious.
Tejas means friendship.
That's right. Tejas means friendship. And let's talk about our friendship, Shaun. Jump right in. This,
I've known you about as long as I've known Aaron.
Yeah.
About like 4 to 5 years.
Yes. But our relationship started on a little app called Clubhouse.
It is kind of crazy.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if any of you remember Clubhouse, but this is my voice. This is my body. It's me. I am Liz Grow. Yes, it is my real name.
Liz.
And you're just hearing people's voices and getting funky with the cheese whiz because you think the world's going to end.
Everybody was kind of freaking out.
And we're all high.
And Clubhouse had this moment. Well, it was kind of beautiful, though. It's crazy because it is really a full circle moment. Now here we are at South by Southwest, and we're doing the thing that we were doing there, but now we're doing it here.
Yeah, we're doing it in
moment
real
where
life.
it matters with the Texas Ledge. It's kind of a crazy thing that something so innocuous, like, I didn't think anything of it. It was just fun to do. And we were all locked down anyway. So.
Yeah, right? No,
well,
it was great. Well, we were advocates, and we rally where we can, and how we can. We couldn't come together. We couldn't leave our homes. We went to the river.
Or the gym, because some
the
gyms,
river, the gym.
Yeah.
But, you're
Texas.
just like, what else am I going to do? Here we go. You're smoking more weed, and you get on this app, and you meet a bunch of people who are like, this is fucked up. And they share their stories, and you're more vulnerable because you're hearing someone's voice. There's just an energy about that draws you in.
It was really nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. And, we found each other in the same groups, and, we found we had the same, thoughts around how stupid the laws were. And
well, it was kind of funny because I had been working in ancillary services for out-of-state operators because I'm a single mom, and until I think 2021, we didn't have the legislation to protect parents, and that CPS wouldn't get involved if you were consuming out of the teacup program or any other program, which is really important. So before that, just to make sure everything was all squared away, I only would work with legal states. So ancillary services only in legal states. It was so incredible to witness how an application like Clubhouse was able not only to, because it's like one of those funny stories, just like with Kim. I met her at MJ Biz. That's in Vegas. That's not here in Texas. And she's just a stone's throw away.
Right.
And we connected so much over that application, which was the first time, I think, interstate operators or people who were trying to talk across state lines, especially as we're building legislation, were able to really openly cross-communicate. And it created this level of growth for the industry that I think we miss sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes you don't want to be staring at a screen. You want to just hear someone's thoughts and have your turn to speak and, continue the work, as they say. It never stops for entrepreneurs, no matter what industry you're in, but especially not for those in cannabis. I'm just like, let me just hear it. Let me respond thoughtfully. Let me smoke my joint and stare off into the distance.
It was like a test. You could test your communication skills, actually, because you got immediate feedback. Like, people in some rooms were getting booted out. So you learn. I know it's weird.
A nasty culture.
Well, I was listening on the way here. I was listening to Diary of a CEO, and they were talking about auditory cues, vocal presence, all of the things. And it just happened to line up with this, and I was like, wow, that's perfect timing.
Yeah.
but it reminds you of how much we communicate through story, through nonverbals. And with Clubhouse, because it was audio only, I felt like you got judged for what you really said. Like, so you couldn't be too flagrant. Like, you had to kind of own it.
How you really,
Well,
you can type a word.
On social, you can just make a comment, and they've done studies that people can say some crazy shit behind an anonymous screen, but I felt like it neutralized that because you had to stand behind your words, which is something culturally I would like to see more of. I feel like we've been missing that. You need to stand behind your words. When it comes to branding and marketing, what like with Tejas or other Texas businesses, standing behind your word and telling your story in a way that doesn't come off salesy. How do you do that?
You know, that's a great question. And I think the reason I am, you know, credible in my answer is because I've been working for the last 6 or 7 years with cannabis brands, working with them in the video production aspect, you know, whether it's long form video, creation and development on our projects or other people's projects centered around cannabis and hemp specifically. We've also worked with brands who have products that are hemp products and cannabis products.
Well, that's how I hit it off with you and Patrick when we finally did meet in person.
Yes.
I was like, wait, y'all are storytellers?
Exactly, we are. You know, Patrick is a really great producer. He's got a long-standing, very successful background in video production, and that's what he does and who he is, and I love him. And
you talk to him about it, you can tell he loves it. Like, he's thinking about the shot. He's thinking about the way he can push it creatively. Like, I've seen him running around with this camera at a certain angle because he understood how to actually capture an image in different dynamics. And there's like a difference between someone who is really interested, someone who started a business that maybe it's really more of a hobby, and then the people who are really all in on something.
Absolutely, you can feel that, and we're you know,
and especially in cannabis,
definitely
like this,
and this
not
is
a hobby.
No, not a hobby at all. This is life. This is their lives. This is Aaron's life. But you know, you can feel that on Clubhouse. You can feel that earnestness, I think, and you can also, you know, we want to apply that to the brand of hemp and cannabis. We want to apply that face, that feeling, that, you know, openness, that love, that gratitude, you know, in a normal and consistent way through brands, through our podcast that we have on YouTube. Shout out Grow House Podcast. We never market it, and we've been doing it since 2018 randomly, but there's some spicy shit in there. I recommend. But, you know, we're two, you know, fellow travelers trying to push cannabis in all its beautiful ways, because it is good for us as humans, you know, and if we can stay there, then we find that the real partnerships emerge, you know, like Cozy Cannabis. You know, Danny and Brandy, shout out to what they have done here. They've created a space where we can feel good and vulnerable to talk about these things.
Handcrafted.
Yes, beautiful. You're the queen. You're the fucking queen. Somebody take a picture of her.
Wait, tell us, Liz, tell us about your story. Like, what brought you to cannabis?
Oh, wow. So, you know, like many of us, the first time I tried cannabis was my senior year in the woods watching Beavis and Butthead, or after we watched Beavis and Butthead with my friend Megan. You know, I don't really know what I smoked, but it was like, whoa, this is a drug, and this is funnier. Whoa. You know, wow. But then, you know, as an athlete in college, and, you know, I just didn't have time for that. Like, honestly, like, I worked hard. I've worked my ass off for a long time, and I love it. It's what I do, but I didn't have time for drugs. You know, we'd binge drink. You know, I went to Notre Dame.
Not a drug,
No, you drink the wine, okay, or the beer. But definitely, you're smoking the weed, get out of here. So that was really the attitude. And so, honestly, you know, and I moved back to Texas, and Veronica is my daughter. Oh my God, she turns 20 tomorrow. Aww. Yes. That's very emotional for me. I know, I don't want to think about it. Let's move on. But she's my only, and so I moved back to Texas. And so we're talking about the cannabis journey, and it's like we're all on the cannabis journey. It's like The Walking Dead. You know that show?
Yeah.
Right? We're all just zombies. Like, but we're alive. And we don't look like zombies yet. But you're a zombie. And cannabis, in the positive way, is really what that's about. We have an endocannabinoid system. We are meant for this plant. This plant is meant for us. It's insane. We know it. I don't want to preach to the choir, but taking it back as a mother, we produce cannabinoids in our breast milk. I learned that at the hearing on Monday, when the cannabis industry showed out, I mean, when you really think about it as life and you apply what you're good at, that's really what we try to do at Grow House Media. Is just partner with the best brands and the best people and create the best stuff and tell the best stories that I want to watch. And they're the parties that I want to go to.
Like, what makes a good story when you're out there and you're working with a client, when you're listening to kind of figure out, like, okay, what's the heart here? How do you find that?
So I'm trying to decide if I want to drink this Tejas and smoke or just drink the Tejas, but I think I would like to smoke. Can we smoke on the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, woo! We're on the show. You have to bring me a joint.
On the show. Yes,
okay.
But I don't know if
Or no
KXAN will air it.
Oh, no, we don't want to do it. Never mind.
Never mind.
No joint.
Okay.
But this is how cozy we are.
I mean, this is great.
Okay, this is great. I love my Tejas Tonic.
And it's sugar-free.
Oh, my God. It's non-alcoholic.
It's
Give me a break.
perfect. I love the green
drink
ones.
all day.
The green ones have THCV in them, right? I can't go on enough about it.
I don't know. I think
Or he
it's just
does
really
have
simple.
one, doesn't he?
He has THCV. He has got a product on the market through Tejas Hemp, TejasHemp.com. What? And Tejas Tonic is THC and CBD, simple, pure, clean, from Texas hemp, from the Texas ground. Terroir, if you will. This
I've
is
been
what we're
to
talking
his little
about.
ranch. Aaron has extensive experience in ranching, big properties, and he's got a nice cut of land where he farms this crop, and it's just real beautiful to go out there. He's got the dogs out there who are smart as a whip. I wish my dogs would behave that way, but no. They're all 1 year old and kind of insane right now, and I'm just like, Aaron whistles and his dogs will wrangle up. I can't remember if he's got cattle or sheep out there.
Oh, just sheep
Or is it
right
goats?
now, yeah.
I remember
goats,
he fed them. He let them
Yeah.
chew, tested the crop, tested pulling leaves from the crop
Yes,
with the
yes.
goats, which I thought was cute.
Yeah,
But
he's willing to test, and experiment. And I think what Aaron Owens is a perfect representation of how, we are, we can make a living off of hemp. We can make a real living off of hemp. And we're creating a better world, really. If we start local, very, very local. The barber shop in Dripping Springs has Tejas Tonic on tap. You guys, it's out of a keg, and it's the only place you can get it out of a keg.
It makes me so happy
But
when
it's local.
when you can find an alternative like that.
It does. And then, just being able to expand that into the message that you're giving to the masses. I mean, he'll ship anywhere, and he does, and they do. The team is phenomenal, and it's growing every day. So it's exciting to be their media company, really, their media partner. I'm just so grateful for, the last 2 years. It's just been such a joy to be able to work with a brand who is real, and storytelling is about real. What are the best stories that you remember? The real ones, the ones that were like, holy shit, you can't fake it. People try, and there's a lot of it, that's called industry. Get over it. We live in America. We want more of what we like. So there might be fakes or whatever. There might be inspirations.
People are always going to try to replicate what you're doing, but your story is authentically yours.
Yeah.
The more you lean into it, the more it's difficult to replicate. No one can do it the way Liz Grow does it. No one can do it the way Jeremy Greens does it.
Right.
And no one can do it, the way Aaron Owens does it.
Right.
It's different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. And there's so many folks. We have to focus in on the folks, not just the us, not just the I, not just the me. This is what I can do. I'm the best. Who fucking cares? I mean, truly, the people who care actually know you're the best. And they tell you you're the best. Those are the people that matter, the other people, not you. You're on this earth. You didn't ask to be here. None of us did. But here we are.
But we're also
right?
just like a drop in the bucket. Like
Truly.
when people are like, do you know who I am or whatever, or whoever, or they got how many ever. Like I can appreciate,
Yes.
I never, like I said earlier, I have like some facial blindness to the social stuff because I'd rather not know. I'd rather actually just connect with someone and get to know them. So frequently I have no idea who I'm talking to. So like you meet people in Austin, you have no clue. I had, no, not defense, but like I had met, what's his name? I'm so in trouble for forgetting it. He's like this big muscly dude. He's got, he does, I know, wrong one. He's like a sports scientist, though. He's like actually really well known. This is the problem. I cannot remember for the life of me. And I didn't know. And I met him and I had no clue. And you just get to know the actual person. Like you get to know real people.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're meeting because you haven't sussed them out. You're not checking out their stuff. I don't know. I think there's something to be said about that authentic, organic connection because even though I learned after I had left and had a conversation who he was, and now his name escapes me, and people are going to be so annoyed because he does periodic. I can't even remember it. I have maybe too much Tejas Tonic or just age coming for me. But
I say terps can cure all.
He's got like
so keep going on the
a big following, but you could look into it, and people do this sometimes in the industry where they look to see what they can get out of it first.
Yeah.
And they miss the opportunity for connection.
Yeah.
How do you see that playing out with marketing? Like, why is it better sometimes to go in totally blind and genuinely curious?
Well, totally blind I didn't say. I won't cop to totally blind.
Okay, totally blind maybe not, because I could have done better if I
totally
could remember
blind.
people's names, including
I
his.
went to Notre Dame. You got to do your research. Why are you in the cannabis industry? Because it is an industry. Some people are independently wealthy, and we're going to put those people aside. And there are some beautiful, really awesome people who are in this industry because they are like, yeah, I'm going to fucking help grow this industry. And I'm going to put a lot of money into it. There's a lot of money on the line. That's who pays marketers? Companies who have money. I mean, that's, I think, the underlying force, unfortunately, is that what we're seeing is this conflict between this being a plant for all of us, a plant that we could truly grow in our backyard, and a moneymaker, and I think that is what we're seeing, and that comes in between a lot. It brings us together, though, too. It's really weird. It's really weird.
So how do you, knowing that you need to come into a room and have a conversation? By the way, I remembered, it's Dr. Mike. My bad.
Dr.
Sorry.
Mike.
Yeah, he's got a Israel.
Muscle man.
Dr.
Muscle
Mike
man, weed guy.
No, that's the worst way to reduce him. But when you see, you'll see.
He works out, though.
He's really good at what he does naturally, and he teaches it, and he's like a sports scientist, and he deserves way more credit than us objectifying his muscles.
But he loves it, secretly loves it, Dr. Mike.
No. Respect.
Maybe I represent another
respect to his missus.
Point of view.
I had randomly met him somewhere.
As the gym stalker.
Randomly you meet people because random people love jiu-jitsu, so you meet random people, and you have no fucking. I met Lex Friedman, and I had no idea.
And and I'm sorry, I am just the gym person. I love it. I ran track, and then I'm like a gym person and do my own fitness stuff, and I still run. But you're a jiu-jitsu person. The runner is the weirdo.
Solo. You're all by yourself.
Because we kind of can be, and it's like, God damn, how long have we been doing this stuff? But it's fun and weird in our heads sometimes. But jiu-jitsu is spiritual, it's connective, it's like we're rolling, we're touching each other, I mean, it is.
Professionally. No.
Yeah, but your skin is like on another human skin, and that's
true.
Like
it is actually
very
really
different.
Good neurologically. I do think if it is true that we have some primate origins, which I believe folks accept, but who knows these days.
Okay, I love it.
If it is true, and
we're
animals
still fucking here.
Animals like to play. They roll around. The dogs do it, and monkeys do it.
I love
apes,
jujitsu.
primates.
We love, and that's one thing that we had in common too, Shaun. Our story, our little story, is that it's this.
That's how we met in
it's
person.
this UFC. And Patrick was a huge UFC fan. He did one of the very first UFC podcasts, true story, in LA. And he's worked for the UFC. He shot with Khabib. He, some name droppers, UFC name droppers, but
well,
man,
I think it shows
it's so
like
kind of
how
sexy. We've got this
products,
UFC story that we just love.
I think it shows how the stories cross-pollinate because we have Tejas. Like, I don't use it to get high. Actually, I would love to have
even though I am
things like this. I mean, I feel good, but I don't feel like too out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
It's like, as a recovery drink, a really great option, especially in those social spaces.
Yeah.
But it shows you how, when we're looking at sports marketing, cannabis marketing, how there is different cross-pollination, but it all goes back to story. Like, it all goes back to digging behind, the first impression and getting to know the story. I feel like Aaron puts his out there, like he's out there getting to, I know I've seen him at ACL and he'll actually go and hand out drinks and get to know folks and be a part of the community. It's like Tejas Tonic has unofficially become the behind the scenes beverage at events like ACL.
It's very burpy also. There should be like maybe a little warning on the can. There could be a burp or two. Sorry, moving on. Delete that.
But putting your story out there and being in the community. And let's go back to, okay, so you know that there's a big fish in the room. One, you have my approach, which is just come in authentic. Don't be blind, but come in authentic.
Yes.
Don't think about what you can get first.
Yes.
Just connect.
Yes.
And then now what? Now if we're sharing our story and we're trying to build bridges between people and make new connections. Like folks who are coming to the outlaw party tonight, how can they get to know the community, especially if they're new to it? How can they put themselves out there? Or how can they have that conversation with that stakeholder that maybe they've been thinking about approaching, but they don't know how to go about it?
Yeah, you've got to be authentic. Why are you there? Know your own story first. To thine own self be true is it, period. Those words were already written. And if we can just lean into that, then we walk into the room, whatever room it is, if it's the outlaw party, great. If it's Cozy Cannabis or if it's our own house, during the holidays or whatever, we can feel better because we're working on our own story, our own why, and there's nothing to be ashamed about. We're here. Or if there is something you feel ashamed about, then, maybe you need to make some changes, like whatever. We're here.
Like, why do
make
I feel?
your changes.
Why am I playing small?
Yeah. What am I doing? Let's go. So I feel like, and that's so outlaw party tonight because you're gonna be there, okay?
And you can't
so what
play
you need
small
to do.
if you're at the
you can't
outlaw
play
party.
You better not play small, baby. I had this conversation last night with a very smart woman with this amazing AI app, and she's like, "Damn it, I have to talk to some investors tomorrow morning." I'm like, "Excuse me, did you not know you're at South by Southwest? Hello, ma'am. Here we are. Why?" This is why you're here. Yes, you're going to hear some amazing people, but it's about meeting people. And if you have an idea that you think is $1 billion idea, then I believe you. I know you do. And you have an investor meeting, get out of my face. Go get that money.
Yes.
If that's the case, then do that. And if they say no, then you'll learn why.
Ooh, if
then
they
you'll learn
say
why.
no, it's one more rep.
It's
just one more rep.
If they say no, you better listen. That is the best advice you get all night long. The best advice I get is that shitty advice.
People don't
even if
listen
it's
to
served
the
with some
no.
honey. No, and then,
you gotta listen to the no because you're getting the feedback about what could have been stronger. Like it's actually the key to.
Yeah.
Sometimes don't listen to someone who's not playing in your domain because some folks will just give you their 2 cents.
I mean,
but if it's someone who you admire and you want their buy-in. You gotta, and they give you a no. Don't assume it's personal. Don't assume the first iteration is the only one.
Right.
Go back, figure it out, come back, and just connect. Don't come back trying to get something or squeeze something out of someone.
No.
Just come back and connect.
Yes.
And keep learning, because at the end of it, you're just gonna glean off at least the information.
Yes.
And if the pitch doesn't go well, it's just one more rep, and you gotta get what is that, like 1,000 reps or something?
1 million.
And
I know,
billion.
I don't even know. I'm bad at numbers.
It feels like 1 million for sure.
Yes, you got to do it. But I also think that, you have, we're like these primal beings, getting back to the primates, what helps me personally, like Liz fucking grow? Am I gonna fucking do something? Like, speak at like a high times thing. You know, early on that would make me so nervous. Like, oh my God, who am I? And just like shaking. It's like, I didn't ask to get born with this last name, but everybody thinks it's a big deal. And I fucking love weed.
Aww.
And I have a fucking media company. So let's go.
We're
Those two
growing
things,
together.
that's what I do. I don't grow weed. I smoke it, and I love it, and I talk about it. And then I have a media company that will work with other companies, cannabis companies, to tell an authentic story and have a really good time doing it, too, because that's the biggest thing. So, when you get rejected, because it's not an if, it's a when. You got to keep going. You got to shake it off literally. Literally. Your body needs to move. We are beings. Like, just fucking get out of your chair. Like, go for a walk. Like, turn on your favorite music. And,
And
I have some songs.
now.
I should have a playlist, honestly.
Yeah,
I should put out
a Grow House playlist.
Just turn that shit up.
I dig it.
Turn that shit in your podcast if you get rejected. And you just have to shake it the fuck off because you got 5 days until your event. Or you've got X amount of money to raise,
you have
because
to
you
get
have to,
over yourself a bit. You have to
all the time, please.
Analysis paralysis happens. So the fuck
Yeah.
what? So what?
Just dance it out.
All right, final words,
Dance yourself
Liz.
clean.
Final words for other women who are aspiring to achieve what they have seen you do, or what they have seen other inspiring women in the Texas scene do. What are your words of advice for the year ahead?
Well, my words of advice. First, my words are thank you. If you think that, I inspire you, that means a lot. It really does. That's not lost to me. Because I project you. So that's really how I feel, like, in this life. Like, wow, like, there's so many amazing women. And you are an amazing woman. That would be my advice. 2025 is your motherfucking year. I'm done with anything else, because the other conversation's boring. It's like we're done waiting. You're done waiting on yourself. You're done waiting on your story. Tonight it's one story. Tomorrow night it might be another story. But find that thread that you can really hold on to. And then those other threads will come, and you'll just be like woven together, and you'll be like, whoa, I'm part of this story. So maybe right now I'm having to pivot, like, on money or a project or whatever. In my case, it's like, no, these are my people. This is what I do. My opportunities are out here in this space, and just know that that's true only if you know yourself, because that's the only way you're going to be able to see those people out there who are the real ones and who really care about, like, what you care about. So that would be my advice.
Oh, I love it.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shaun. I love you so much. Thank you for this. You are one of those, you're very dear to me. Your voice, your being, who you are, your story. I know your story. You're so a beautiful being. Thank you for doing this,
It's
truly.
my pleasure. It's my way to give back, just rolling into the tide.
That's right, baby. Get in here.
It's a good way to give back to the community. I appreciate it so much, especially when we get to have conversations with folks like you. And I am so looking forward to the Outlaw Party tonight. It is our next stop after this. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us for this episode of Highly Informed.
Thank you.